From the Rifts!
Welcome back to From the Rifts, and I'm Big Will Johnson.
Carmen Blair.
And today we're going to be doing an overview for Nightbane. Nightbane is your classic, yet not so classic horror game. And we're going to get into this one very quickly.
Alright, Nightbane is basically, like you said, it is a horror game, but it's a little different. If you remember the old show Nightbreed, it has some of those kind of elements from Nightbreed in that you're somebody with a facade of being human who then has a morphous that he changes into that it's his real form.
Right.
But that morphous is a reflection of his own deep dark secrets.
Yeah. So if you're a sadomasochist at heart, or you enjoy causing pain, well, maybe your morphous will take the appearance of a leather-clad, bleeding, festering monster. Or if maybe you're afraid of spiders, maybe your limbs you'll grow extra limbs or something to that effect. The morphous itself, although it could be construed as like a superpower, your character is going to kind of look at it as more of a curse, because it is definitely a reminder and a reflection of
what your
deepest, darkest fears or phobias.
Yeah, it's a reminder of what you're going through, but like you said, it does give you more power. It makes you stronger, faster, tougher. Depending on the effects that you get, you might have a gun limb with firing actual bullets. You might have chains or whips attached to you, or you might turn into a slavering beast with claws and fangs. So I mean, it does provide you with a lot of stuff, but it is that representation of your own internal angst, your own internal problems that's now given form. But these are the heroes of the world.
Yeah.
Which makes it kind of different in that the monsters are the heroes of this world.
Yes. Now, they're going to need all that little extra, because it seems like in this game you are constantly outgunned, overpowered, and damn near, and outnumbered for sure. And this is a run and gun kind of game. Yeah. You're always on the move. You never have a chance to get too comfortable. And it does add to the heightened horror factor.
Yeah. Basically, to lay it out for you, the idea of this game is that it's set on a modern Earth, but this modern Earth shares the dimension with a dark version of it. Dimensionally speaking, it's very close. Well, what happens is this dark version is the Nightlands, and the lords of the Nightlands, the Night Lords, managed to pull it, dimensionally speaking, very close to the Earth. And during this dark day, it allows those Night Lords and their minions to cross over to Earth and to influence and try to take over the Earth.
Now, this isn't your standard boots to pavement, kicking in the doors and slaughtering innocent people in the streets. No. The Night Lords are smart. They realize you can't just come to a planet and start messing things up. What they do is they get into places of influence. It's the subtleties. Maybe they get in at higher levels of government. They take over municipalities. So the Night Lords themselves are essentially, they're like any other government, if you ask me. They infiltrate, and then they let their influence spread out like a disease.
Yeah. So they're in control of everything that every authority you would run to for help. They're controlling, so you can't run to them. And then on top of the influence that they bring or they obtain during the dark days, they also do bring in some foot troopers, and the foot troopers are those who can blend in, who can mimic, who can pretend to be human, or who hide in the shadows and attack from the dark. They abduct people off the street, or people or children from their bed, or all the time, all the while, they're looking for the Nightbane to capture, to eliminate them, because they're the only real source of resistance.
Right.
And the Nightbane do form the resistance. They make resistance cells. They operate in small groups. They knowingly attack any kind of Night Lord stronghold. They do what resistance fighters do.
They literally get together to fight the power, and they actually have the means of doing so. Although as we stated earlier, they're outgunned and they're outnumbered.
Yeah,
Now,
you do have your powers to rely on, and you do get more powerful as time goes on because you get new morphous shapes, you get new talents, you basically get more and more powerful as you go. The only problem is that the bad guys get worse. I mean, they just get more and more too, and because they're in control of the government, they're in control of the militaries, they're in control of everything with the real big guns. They always have better than you. They're always outgunning you. They're always outnumbering you.
Now, that said, that also brings us to the next point I thought would be important to highlight with this particular game. This game is not about being the most powerful Nightbane and being able to wipe out everybody with but a thought, or finding the mystic jewel of who only knows what in order to rid the world of all the darkness. This game is for a horror experience, a darker experience, and B, also the opportunity to role play. This could be a very role play heavy game. You can experience what it's like to be that schizophrenic, or that person that's trapped in their own mind, or they're trapped by their own fears and concerns. And when you're sitting around with 8, 10, 12, I mean, in Carmen's case, I've seen he's run games up to 40 people. Sometimes that gets a little muddled. You can really lose track of the interaction of getting to the developing stages of a character. And Nightbane will allow you to really experience that. And you can almost internalize it, because you can really base your morphous on something that has a lot to do with you personally.
Yeah. Or if you're one of those players who really likes to play with the idea of insanity or unstable personalities, you can make some cool characters. Again, like the idea of like a Jack the Ripper type character. Maybe in his morphous he's a friendly, happy-go-lucky, but his human form, his facade, is is out there slashing people's throats at night. You can take it any which way. I mean, you can do some really cool stuff, but in the end, it is much more a game about role playing than it is a game of I got the biggest gun, I shoot you down.
Because truthfully speaking, as far as the way the world is actually set up, it ain't gonna happen. We should also talk about the fact that it's like all Palladium games, minus the licensed games. It's very interchangeable, and it's very easy to take Nightbane characters. You could bring them into Rifts. You could most definitely bring them into
Superheroes.
into heroes. So it does work very well. I recall my major experience with Nightbane was a World War II campaign. We played as The Dark Day Had Happened a lot earlier in history, and it was a fantastic campaign. And we were Nightbane going up against Nazis. And it's always fun fighting Nazis. Yeah. So, but at the same time, we really did have a lot of great dynamics between player and characters, because people got to explore what it would be like to be in the middle of a war. But at the same time, your greatest boon is also your greatest curse. So
yeah, because you couldn't really just change just when you
you
wanted
don't want
to.
to be standing around in the middle of a village and everybody's just like, oh, hey, look. There's a tentacle monster with flames.
Yeah. But Nightbane it is something different. It's something very cool. It's a nice change from, if you like horror games and you like playing the monstrous creature, it's different than playing your typical vampire werewolf. There's a zillion of those games out there. But this is something different. It's something that's cool. It still meets that horror genre feel that people like, but you're not just your everyday vampire.
Yes, absolutely. So, I think that's about all we have for this overview. We will have a more in-depth review of the Nightbane series coming up. So, just keep checking us out. Keep enjoying what we do. Till next time, I'm Big Will Johnson.
Carmen Blair.
And we'll see you from the Rifts.